My dear, sit down and listen closely, for this tale is not one of joy but of love, love so deep and sacrificial that it pierces the heart and leaves it bleeding, yet alive with purpose. This is the story of Amara, a widow who gave her all, even her very life, to save her only son, Kelechi. Amara was a simple woman, soft-spoken but fierce in her devotion to her boy. Her husband had passed when Kelechi was just a baby, leaving her with nothing but a child and the weight of the world on her shoulders. Yet, she raised him with a strength that defied her frail frame. She would often say, "Kelechi, my son, you are my heart walking outside my body." But life, as cruel as it can be, struck them a blow they never saw coming. Kelechi, at just 15, fell gravely ill. His body weakened, his skin turned pale, and the doctors, after many tests, delivered the grim news both of his kidneys had failed. There was no explanation, no traceable cause. Just the cold truth that without a transplant, Kelechi would not survive. Amara's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. She had no family to turn to, no wealth to buy solutions. Time was running out, and her boy's life was slipping through her fingers. But she did not waver. Without hesitation, she told the doctors, "Take my kidneys. Take them both." The doctors were horrified. "Madam," they said, "you cannot live without kidneys. This surgery would cost you your life." "I am already living for him," she replied, her voice steady. "If he dies, then I am dead already." And so it was. The day of the surgery came, and Amara, lying on that cold, sterile bed, held her son's trembling hands. She looked into his tear-filled eyes and smiled through her pain. "Kelechi," she whispered, her voice weak but full of love, "do not cry for me. If a mother cannot give her life for her child, then what is her life worth? You must live, my son. You must live a life full of meaning, full of kindness. Help others as I have helped you. Promise me that." He could only nod, his sobs choking his words. She pressed a kiss to his forehead and said, "God will be with you. My spirit will always guide you. Be strong, my son. Make me proud." The surgery was successful for Kelechi. Amara, as expected, did not survive. Her frail body could not endure the trauma, but her face, even in death, bore a serene smile. She had given her son the greatest gift, life. Kelechi was inconsolable. 4 years, he carried the weight of her sacrifice, but he never forgot her words. He worked tirelessly, fueled by the memory of his mother's love and her dying wish. By the time he was in his 20s, he had become a wealthy man, but wealth to him was not for hoarding. It was a tool for fulfilling his mother's legacy. He built orphanages and named them Amara's Haven, places where children without parents could feel the warmth of a mother's love. He established funds for widows, giving them a chance to rebuild their lives, just as his mother had struggled to do. Hospitals bore her name, and he made sure no child ever died for lack of care. Every year, on the anniversary of her death, he would visit her grave, kneel, and speak to her as though she were standing before him. "Mama," he would say, "I hope you see what I've done. All of this is because of you. You gave me life, and I will spend it honoring you." The townspeople often whispered about Kelechi, not with envy but with awe. They called him the son of sacrifice. His mother's story inspired countless others to give selflessly, and her name became a symbol of undying love. Even now, when I sit and tell this tale, I can feel the ache in my chest for that brave woman, Amara. She may be gone, but her spirit lives on, not just in her son but in the lives of all she touched through him. That, my dear, is the power of a mother's love, a love that never dies, a love that changes the world.